Ever since I was younger, I was into video games.
Somebody like the Fuse so I can bring bad news to all these crews who can't NBA jam with the shoe.
Hey everybody, welcome back to a quick beer review. Fired up for this collab. I love collab times. From Ghost Town and Alvarado Street. Courtesy of my man Pete. I appreciate you, bro. This is Cone Goblin. Cone Goblin. Why am I fired up about this beer? Because I have had Ghost Town's Nose Goblin, and that beer is fuego. I had it on draft at a tap room in San Jose when my wife and I were visiting my sister-in-law. And it was fucking awesome. It's a 9% beer, and I drank like 3 of them. And I'm not even like a high ABV guy these days, but that beer is so good. So when I saw this collab, I was like, man, I would love to try this beer. And Pete, being the beer Santa that he is, a box showed up and this beer was in it. So I'm pumped. So per the label, Imperial India Pale Ale, it is 8.9% alcohol by volume. So yeah, Nose Goblin's 9%. I wonder what the cone part of this is. Alvarado must do a beer called Cone something, right? Mosaic, Crush, Nelson, Crush Cryo, Simcoe Cryo, Columbus Cryo. Can we taste all that stuff? Probably not, but we're going to give it our best shot. So it says embalmed February 11th, just over a month. Time of recording. Hashtag Team Old IPA Playa. That's me on the Instagram if you want to follow along. This beer is not old. It's probably perfect. I love beer with some age on it. Let your beer sit, dude. Let them develop. They get better with age. So I will say right off the get that this beer kind of has a cool old school darker yellow look. It's not like that super light straw yellow that you're seeing with a lot of new school West Coast IPAs these days. This is more like a golden color. Plenty of carb in the glass. There's a chill haze on it, but this beer is clear. I can see my finger through the glass. Finger of bright white head. I do not own Ghost Town or Alvarado Street glassware, so no proper glassware for this one, but I think we're going to be okay. We're not going to need saved. Smell this thing. Hoo-wee. This beer is fucking intense still. My goodness. So, it's hard to describe when I drink, double IPAs or triple IPAs. There's a time where you shove your nose in a beer and you smell it and you're like, man, this beer smells like it's going to be thick and it smells like it's going to be syrupy and like just big bodied. That's what this beer smells like. It is candied. It is like candied tropical fruits. It's vinous. There's like a, what is that? It's almost got like that juice boxy thing that it's one. I always talk about like growing up, you drink those juice boxes that just said fruit punch on it, and you're like, what is fruit punch? It has a fruit punchy kind of a thing. But yeah, it's like earthy, gritty. It's got that tomato vine thing, but it just smells like a big beer, and it doesn't smell like a big beer like alcoholic wise. It doesn't smell boozy or hot. It just smells like it's gonna be a fucking massive beer. Nice, like, bready sweetness, too. So, let's go and taste this. Pete, cheers. Appreciate you, bro. It's a big fucking beer. It's a big boy beer. And it is delicious. There is a nice bitterness right on the middle of my tongue. What did we say? What did it say? Columbus? It has this cool, piney, old school, floral thing that, I mean, you're like, oh yeah, sea hop beer for sure. Columbus, right? Not, yeah, Columbus. But that like intense, earthy thing that I was smelling, like I've been saying, like beers smell gritty to me, and it just reminds me of like go to a farmer's market and you get produce that is still like has dirt on it and you can smell it in your car, like you're smelling whatever you bought, but you also smell like the earth part of it. That's there in this beer. This beer, like the body it's a full bodied beer. The bitterness is awesome because there's like this cool sweetness up front, like tropical fruit. Like I said, I mean, when you say fruit punch for a juice box, what does that mean? I don't know. It's nondescript to me. There is like a sweet, I would say like a sweet citrus aspect to this beer, but it's like, it's not pineapple. It's kind of like passion fruity. It's really, really good, but it's so intense. And then as it goes across your tongue, it just digs in. You get bitterness. It's like dank, resinous. There's a floral thing. Finish is super freaking dry, which is wild for almost 9% beer. Does not like feel hot, doesn't taste hot, doesn't taste alcoholic. Much like Nose Goblin, this beer is wildly drinkable for the ABV. The bitterness just lingers though. Nice like white crusty bread too on the finish. Like that sweetness, it just kind of tries to balance it out. I don't think you can balance out this beer just because that intense bitterness digs in and lingers. It's a super long finish, which I love. It's a 9% beer. It's supposed to be that way, but this beer is fucking awesome for being, I mean, I've drank a lot of high ABV beers recently, between Pete sending this and then the beers that Sierra Hotel sent. Man, they're not beers I can drink all the time, but gosh, these dudes make these beers at these ABVs just so well. It's world-class stuff. So that's Cone Goblin collab Ghost Town Alvarado Street. Ghost Town's up in Oakland. Alvarado Street, where are they? They were in Salinas. Am I thinking of the correct brewery? Were they Salinas? And like, was Alvarado Street like in, where else are they? You guys will tell me. But two NorCal, super dope breweries making a really, really good beer. So that like tropical fruit thing is just lingering. It's good. Gosh, this beer is awesome. So yeah, do you guys have this one? Let's talk about it. If you've had the other beers that this beer is based on, Nose Goblin, I know Peter, Master of Hoppets, love that beer. I don't know what the other part of this name would be from Alvarado, but we can talk about all of it. So that's it. Appreciate you guys watching. See you soon. Cheers.
Thank you for coming behind the bar, in the arcade, all that shit.
Ever since I was younger, I was into video games.
Somebody like the Fuse so I can bring bad news to all these crews who can't NBA jam with the shoe.